Hi everyone, this is Alec from AJ Farms, and today I am excited to bring you a garden harvest. It is early July, and things are going crazy in the garden. We've been harvesting a little bit each day, but now I think we actually have enough to do a full harvest video. And as you can see, we're going to be starting with our beans. We have our Royal Burgundy bush beans, which you're looking at right now, and on the other side of the bed, further over on that side, we have the Blue Lake bush beans. I'm going to start with the Royal Burgundy bush beans because these are my favorite just because they're fun colors. And I have my handy dandy 5-gallon bucket to harvest these because we have a lot, and I mean a lot, on these plants. I actually told my parents not to harvest them so I would have enough for a harvest video. Honestly, they probably could have harvested some yesterday because beans grow very quickly. So I'm going to get my gloves on and we're going to start harvesting. So I wanted to start with this close-up, and I wanted to show you how you harvest beans. The biggest thing, like with most plants, is you don't want to just pull the bean off of the plant because bean plants are very fragile and you will break the plant. So what you want to do is get in close, grab the plant with one hand, the bean with the other, and then you just pull it off. So you want to make sure that you give some support to that plant so that way you won't break the plant itself and just break that stem. So I'm gonna go ahead and start harvesting because these beans are they're definitely ready to be harvested. They're super excited, and this is about the size that you want them, about 4 to 6 inches long. Any shorter, they could have grown longer. Any longer, and they get tough and stringy. So I'm gonna go ahead and get harvesting. This is just the purple beans, and it was a little bit less than half of a bed. I already have enough for like a side dish for a family of 4. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the green beans next. I wanted to pause in my harvest real quick to show you this absolute monster. So this bean is about 7 inches long or so. This is what you want to avoid eating. You can see the pod has already started developing the beans itself, so it'd be pretty tough and stringy. While you do still want to pick this, it's not necessarily good for eating. Especially early on, you want to pick it because otherwise it'll send a signal to the beans like, hey, I'm ready to make babies, I'm going to stop producing, I want to make seeds. So you still want it to make pods, so pick these off. You can test them, sometimes they're still good to eat, especially depending on the variety that you have. But I know for me, this is way too big and will be too tough and stringy to eat, so this will be going into a compost heap. So I'm going to call it quits on the string beans because I'm having a lot of trouble finding them now because it's green on green. But that's honestly quite a bit. My bucket's about 1/4 of the way full, so I'm very happy with that. Now after the beans, we have our cucumbers. So I need to be careful with the cucumbers because they are absolutely loaded with bees, which is a good thing because I do want them to pollinate, but I don't want to disturb them and I really don't want to get stung. But I do want to come in here and see if I can show you some of the cucumbers that are growing, maybe find 1 or 2 that are ready to be harvested, because we have found some absolutely massive ones in here. I'll have to put a picture on screen, but we actually have found a 15-inch long cucumber, and we're not growing any special varieties. Like, they're meant to get 8, 10 inches long, maybe 12 at the most. 15 inches! That's insane. Speaking of massive cucumbers, here's one that my mom forgot to bring inside, so I'll be taking that in with me when we take everything inside at the end. Okay, so I thought we had more, but it looks like these two right here are all that we have. We got this one that kind of looks like a ball, and then a more normal shaped cucumber. It's a little small, but still going to be quite delicious. You do want to harvest them while they're a darker green, not quite a lighter green like the first one I showed you, because that means they're a little overripe, but this one should be perfect. So next we have our cherry tomatoes. We have harvested 1 or 2 beefsteaks, but the cherry tomatoes are really the ones that get ripe the fastest. This right here is my pride and joy, my sun gold cherry tomato, which I showed you in the last garden tour, was doing very well. It rebounded after the frost damage so wonderfully, and now it's got ripe cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to go ahead and pick those and show you. Okay, so here are my cherry tomatoes. Now these are supposed to be a nice orangey color. I tried to get the darker ones. There's still a few that are changing, but I'm going to let them continue to ripen on the vine for a little bit longer because they're extra sweet when you do that. These are a very sweet cherry tomato. Now I see one next to it. It's a different plant. I believe it's a husky. Nope, just a red cherry tomato that also has some tomatoes on it that are ready. I don't think you can see very well inside of there, but there are some red cherry tomatoes, so I'm going to go in there and fish them out. The sun gold cherry is the only one that I have that's not supposed to be red when ripe. The rest of them should be a nice deep red. I will pick some when they're a little bit on the verge, kind of like an orangey red, just to make sure they don't get eaten by bugs, but the rest of them should be nice deep red. So that's about all I can reach on the cherry tomatoes for right now, but that is not bad. That's a good number. It's definitely enough for a salad. So next, I think we have a few jalapenos that are ready. So let me go set you up over there. So these are our mammoth jalapenos, and we have a few, like this one behind this leaf, that are ready. Now to harvest these, you can either cut them off the plant, or what I like to do is just push them up until the stem breaks. Oops. You get left with a little bit of a hooked stem that likes to stick onto everything. But that's not a bad sized jalapeno. Now these can get a little bit bigger, but I'm still trying to get the plants to grow themselves because they're a little bit small. But it's honestly not bad, so I'm going to pick them to allow more energy to go to the plant to grow the plant bigger. I try to only pick the really big and fat ones, which today is about 3 of them, which is fine, because I have more inside that I can freeze to make hot sauce for later. So last but certainly not least are our blackberries. We've been getting a few every day, about a handful, and my parents have been eating them all, which is fine because I don't really eat them. But the way to tell if they're fully ripe is they should almost fall off the plant when you touch them. So I'm going to test it on this berry right here. So I'm going to take it and gently... Oh, that came off very easily. There was just a little bit of resistance, but honestly it's pretty ripe, which means this should be super sweet. Otherwise, if they have a lot of resistance, they'll be very tart and bitter, and they don't taste very good. So I'm going to go ahead and harvest my blackberries, and I will show you what I have when I'm done. So here is my blackberry haul. There are plenty still left on the plant, but they're not quite ready. I would like them to be a little bit easier to pull off, and honestly, as I said earlier, I don't really know what I'm going to do with everything yet. I know the blackberries are going to make jelly, but I don't quite have the space or the time yet before they go bad. So I wanted to just let them stay on the plant, let them get that extra little bit ripe, because it'll make some really awesome jelly. But I know I have a few other things I need to harvest, like kale, basil, and some flowers, but it's really hot out here. And honestly, I think I have enough for right now. I'm pretty satisfied with that. But I hope you enjoyed this early summer garden harvest, and we're hoping we'll be back with more, because we have a whole bunch of stuff growing that's not even close to being ripe yet, like our watermelon, our hot peppers. We got more flowers that still need to bloom that I'm really excited to show you. There's just a whole bunch of stuff, and our cabbages. A few we could take today, but we don't have anything to make them with yet, so we're going to leave them out here for as long as we possibly can, let them size up some more. But I hope you enjoyed this garden harvest, and we will be back soon with another video. If you want more updates, make sure to follow us on Instagram at AJ Farms. And if there's anything else you want to see or any questions you have that you may want me to make into a video, please let us know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys, and it also helps me get ideas for videos and helps me answer your questions so we can kind of help spread that information for people that really need it. But other than that, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching.